So, some things going on in the shop. Well, sometimes things happen for a reason, and it's a good reason. I was pushing really hard to get this truck done for the GM tailgate tour. Kind of dropped the ball a little bit, got a little slack, some jobs coming in and whatnot, and didn't jam on it as hard as I should have, but it worked out because I was hours away from leaving, and I had some parts not work out. If you've seen any of my other videos, but a little disappointed, but it worked out fine. I took my 98, had a great time, but it worked out because what I discovered was when I got back from the tour and I got, getting my shops straight when I've been gone for a week, finally ready to tackle this. I got this running. It runs perfectly. Had some faulty parts, some new faulty parts straight out of the box, but got that remedied and all that good stuff. Had a rainy day, and I took it outside and gave it a wash, and I discovered that the windshield leaked. That would have really sucked on that tour. Even though we had one day of decent rain, it was very chilly. Of course, you don't know what the rain is going to be a few states away, a couple of states away actually, and especially going in the mountains and whatnot, you just don't know. We had perfect weather after that one day, but you didn't know. When I bought this, it was in December, late December, and we've had some snow, but it's been freezing. So you figure the snow's sitting here, melting. It's been on my apron at an angle. Didn't really notice anything. It did have a little smell inside, but the guy I bought it from, he smoked. So, smoked. The truck was used. So it had, used smell. It smoked cigarettes in it. Probably got in there with some work boots on at some point. Kids using it and whatnot. It smelled like a truck, an old truck, I should say. So, didn't think anything of it, but after I washed it, I noticed I had some water in the console and on the seats. So 2 days ago, got the new windshield installed. That was my first day of actually driving it on the highway, and I actually stayed up kind of late, woke up fast. Had to be at the glass shop at 8. It was like 7:10 when I woke up. The glass shop is like 25, 30 minutes away, give or take traffic, school buses and whatnot. But it was like, all right, here we go. Basically hopped in, fired it up, gone. Around about 45, it had a terrible shape. I thought maybe the tires needed rebalancing or something, but the front was perfect. The steering wheel was nice and tight, nothing shaking around. But if you see, like I mentioned before, he had some kind of fender bender, and that could have did what I saw. Once I got playing with it and looked at it, got the tire off of it, jacked it up, kind of looked at the run out on the axle, and we got a bent axle. So 55, anything after about 50 and up, you don't feel anything, but it's still there. It's just kind of, I don't know what the word may be, it's just kind of harmonizing, and you don't really feel it like a shake, but you can tell something's there, but it's not terrible. 40 to 45, you can see the bed just kind of hopping, and you can kind of look at the sides and see it was more pronounced on this side, and these tires being a little thick, a little wide, I can see on the side view mirror, and you can see that thing going. So, like I said, I took the tire off and decided, well, I went ahead and ordered some new axles for it. So new axles, bearings, that might be here by the time I leave for mini nets. Either or, doesn't matter. The truck can sit in here just fine, it's not bothering anybody. So hopefully that remedies that, because these tires, well, they're new. Sometimes you get junk tires, that's possible as well. You don't know where they've been sitting. You might get a flat spot. It might have been sitting on, you might get a tire that's been sitting on the bottom of a pile. And things that come with that, sometimes you got to drive it down the road to kind of true it up. But these wheels on my balancer, they weren't doing anything crazy. But the offset on them, it wants weights on the outside. I don't like putting weights on the outside. So you go to the inside as far to the face as possible. But with this offset, it's almost like zero offset. So you're almost, your weights are like that far apart from each other. And I've ran into that as well, to where it might call for, you're almost, in a way, you're almost static balancing it, almost. But the ones in the front, no problem. And I was like, it would have to be off like really bad for it to have that shape. So I spun it around and you could just see that flange warbling, I should say, in and out. So we got that off, waiting on the new parts coming in. And, that's that, man. It was nice being behind the wheel of a first gen 5-speed V6 again. Just a good running stock truck. Just, I don't know, it's one of those things, man. When you're around, man, nothing I've ever had is like, I would call it truly custom, but you're always messing with stuff. Like I said, I got trucks with the V8s in it, loud, all that stuff. And that, you can change suspension and all that, but I don't know. These days, man, just to hop in a nice running truck, no problems. And I don't know, it's just, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just, the V8s are cool, and, I don't consider myself to be the guru and, the main man when it comes to engine swaps and all that, but I don't do, hack jobs. I have done some hack jobs, but I don't do, I'm not gonna say that's what I strive to do, but I have done some in the past, all that stuff. It was always about, man, get that V8 in there, who cares, whatever. And you progress, some of your work gets better, and, it comes down to money as well. And, do I buy the nice harness for like $500, $600, $700, or do I cut this down and delete what I don't need? And it was like the dually, for example. I could have done, looking back on it, where I built it, I just didn't have the room and all that stuff. And not so much in a hurry, but it was just like, it's just, let's get this done. While I wouldn't say it's a hack job, but it could have been better. Placement of sensors could have been better, I think. Can I go back and redo it? Yeah, but I don't really feel like revisiting it. It's not that important to me. But now if I was to do another one similar, then I would say, okay, well, let's take our time and run this, take our time and run that, take our time and run this. But anyway, kind of rambling on. Man, it's just nothing like, I don't know, these days, like I said, I'm not getting younger, but to hop in here, fired up, everywhere I've been in it, the first day I took it up there, I was in a hurry, and they actually broke my, or the ride broke or whatever, the new windshield. So I had to go back the next day. And so I went to Home Depot, did a couple of little errands, and I had people at stoplights, a couple of people thumbs up and just checking it out, and even at Home Depot. I even had an old friend of mine that I haven't spoke to in a long time message me and say, I just saw a little gray S10 lowered down a little bit with 5 stars on it. Was that you? In fog lights. Was that you? And I was like, I'm back. Or people could just associate me with hoopties. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought that was cool. And that's kind of I don't know, it's just these days, man, just a good running truck. If you ever come up on me and we're going down the interstate and I'm creeping down there because I've got a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder, message me and I'll get out your way. I just don't care about that stuff. Speed is awesome. People that build speeds they're awesome. LS engines are awesome. All that stuff is awesome. But man, it's just, I don't know, just hopping into this thing and just hearing that stock engine just purr and just, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, it's just, everyone's got what they like. Now I wouldn't turn down, you know, if I saw a good deal on something or whatever. I'm not saying it's like I'm, you know, it's not persona non grata to where it's like, it's a V8, I don't want it. But, you know, I've got my big block over there, the 454, you know, the 73 C10, C30, my 383 right here and whatnot. But I don't know. I mean, I've got plenty of things to play with, but it was just really nice. I don't know, to just drive a first gen 5-speed with the V6. But so that's that. New axles are coming, new bearings and all that stuff. Hopefully that solves that issue, because I really want to get to driving it. But we got to leave her alone. I washed it the other night, put her in a little spot, got it jacked up, wheels off, axles, everything out. Mini nut crunch. Let me see if I can work this little thing here. There we go. Yeah, so kind of doing the same thing with the Extreme. It developed a little shake in the rear. First I thought it was the tires. Of course they're brand new. I rebalanced everything. When I first put them wheels and tires on, that thing rode perfect like a dream. But who knows? I checked the axle. I don't see any crazy play in it, but you can take it and kind of move it just a touch. So I'm a firm believer that trucks can share diseases. One can infect the other. I'm a firm believer in that. So this truck having this issue, then all of a sudden this one kind of having it. Swapping the tires didn't do anything. Putting the other tire on one side or putting the other wheel on one side, that didn't do anything. I have replaced not just shotgunning parts at it, because I like to figure out what's going on rather than to you know, just like I said, shotgun parts and just you don't know what you fixed, but you know, but it needed it. The truck's a 99, so I went ahead and replaced the transmission mount. I put a new drive shaft in it, new U-joints. Of course, it's got blocks and stuff on the rear, new bolts and stuff. Got new the end links for the rear, sway bar, all that stuff. But it did have a little play in the driver's side. Not a lot, but you're going down the road, you know, 55 plus miles an hour, that a little, it's kind of like when I used to do tile work, and anyone out there that does construction know what I'm talking about. You know, you could have an 1/8 of an inch here, and by the time you chase that 1/8 of an inch, say 10 feet, all of a sudden you've got a case of gaptosis, and it started with an 1/8 of an inch. Rather than kind of go back and try and fix where it started, you try to chase it forward and it just ends up getting wider. Kind of the same thing. But anyway, the parts I put on it did help. You could definitely feel a difference, but still had that little shake in the rear. So I went ahead and ordered some new axles for that. Hopefully they'll arrive by the time I leave out of here this week. If not, we're gonna rock it the way it is, because I gotta get there and we're not gonna miss that. Also, excuse my appearance if you see I'm looking a little, I had a job in here to do, polishing job for some wheels. So yeah, it's It'll be a fun time. So the crunch is on. I got a yard or two to do this week. But the crunch is on. I did, however, my friend did some groundwork and he secured us a guaranteed parking spot for my trailer, his truck, and then this is going to be the chaser basically. So we can cruise this while my truck's on the field, and of course I don't drive that truck anyway. It's going to get wet, unfortunately. That truck, my black 93, hasn't gotten wet in the rain since 2003. But I can't miss this. This is there's trucks that are way more valuable than mine, and these guys are driving them like no big deal. So you got to suck it up, be a big boy. But yeah, so my face is a little black. I just got done doing some polishing on the wheels here. My hands are a little black. I'm still playing with the gimbal, playing with that thing, trying to figure that out. What I don't like about this thing is maybe I'm not doing something right. Is like how I'm standing right now. This is what I like, but the sensor on the top wants to go to my face, so it cuts out. Like, I guess I could change the position of the phone, but then when I go to post videos, it kind of has like the black around it. I'm probably not doing something correctly. Need to get like a 10 or 12-year-old in here to figure this out. But so that's what's going on at Skunk Works. Hopefully the axles will be here this week, maybe Wednesday for it, and the new bearings. Kind of back it up a bit, I changed the brakes all the way around it, and I drove it to the Christmas parade, and then I drove it a little bit after that, and it had that little slight shake to it. I mean, it's very possible that it could be the drums are out of whack, but the things I'm changing, again, I don't like I said before, I don't like just shotgunning parts, but it's a 99. I know for a fact that the rear end cover has never been off. It's never had fluid change. It's never had any new bearings put in it. And like I said, it does have a little slight, if you pull the axle, you take the plate, where it wants to slide just a little bit. But if you pull that axle, you can kind of go side to side just a touch. Not a lot, but enough to, again, you're 50, 60 plus miles an hour, bouncing around, lots of things are happening back there. So that's what's been going on. So in between the 93 and that, I'm gonna do a little circle here. I got my shop cleaned up, things put away, things clean, the other day, well, like about a week and a half ago, I went inside and dozed off, and it was when the pollen, anyone that's all over the world, I guess, but where pollen really kicks in, you usually have 2 or 3 nights where it's just like friggin' fog. And I dozed off and had my shop door open like all the way, and it was like basically like snow in here. So again, usually in the spring, I kind of pull most of everything out and clean up, and shelves and things, and that's just kind of sitting around, just get some pollen on it, parts and stuff like that, the wheels sitting around, just make it look kind of clean. I like a clean workstation. I can't function in too much chaos. I gotta, not so much, well, it's gotta be my chaos, I guess. I just can't have things everywhere and pollen on everything you touch leaves marks, and but again, like I said, so that's what's been going on here. Getting ready for mini nats this week. Cannot wait. It's going to be exciting. But it's 7 hours from me, so I definitely want this to not have the little shimmy that it had. Especially being a short bed truck, you feel everything. But it still wasn't as bad as this. It was not as bad. So, yeah. So anyway, Oh yeah, well, speaking of which, other things happening. The dually here. I took her out the day that I was washing everything, took it out in the rain, did a couple of Ruby Doos, and came back, washed it, backed it in, and all of a sudden I heard a grinding noise. The torque converter stopped doing what it's supposed to do. So, got a new one here, got to replace that when I get back from Mini Nats, but like I said, it's not a do or die thing. So yeah, but I don't know if this thing will come with me or not. Yeah, I don't want to get my face too close to a camera, you know, but here's, you know, had this job come in, get these wheels polished up. Probably got about 6 hours each wheel. Sanded them down, I did a video the other day, sanded them down, wet sanded them. This had some coating on it. Like I said, I guess this some old powder coating from the factory, I don't know. I've never seen it that color. Anyway, I could have gone a lot further on, but like I said, the guy, he wasn't trying to do all that. And, you know, I get it. So, about 5.5, 6 hours each wheel. You just kind of knock things down. There's still, I keep pointing that out because I know it's there, but nothing's perfect in this world, but we try to make it, you know. But passable, he's happy with it, and mounting new tires. Got to get my manual out to see if my balancer will accommodate the weight. I think it will, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. Right now I'm a little tired. I'm going to go inside, sip on some coffee, take a nap, take a shower, make my face pale again, and that's that. Kind of rambling around. Yeah, I can't wait to get some video going up at Mini Nats, man. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, see you there.